Pirez, and I'm an astrophysicist, and this is what do valleys on the surface of planets and moons suggest about previous land features. So a valley is just an extended depression on the surface. So generally we call them depressions because they're surrounded by mountains. So anything surrounded by a higher ground, we'll be able to tell that in the middle there is some depression, right? If not, you just see it as a straight landform, you wouldn't be able to tell whether it should be higher or if it's a depression. So a depression is generally surrounded by mountains, and this could be a valley. So it's just the terrain between higher land features that is sort of flat and is sort of lower. Now, what are the causes of valleys? Like, the valleys can come from a lot of different things, and this depends on what planet or what moon you're actually on. So let's say here on Earth, one of the biggest causes of valleys is water carving. So oceans, rivers, and rivers can get really fancy with carving of valleys. They can have like U-shape valleys, and they also have the V-shapes. So water on the surface just eventually carves out the surface and creates like a depression. Another big thing that can happen here is glaciation. So if you have a large area that is covered by ice, you eventually are going to carve into the ground. So glaciation is a big deal. So water carving is the other one that I mentioned. And then what happens with wind? So if you are in a planet that has like a very turbulent sort of atmosphere, you'll have winds that eventually just erode a lot of the ground away. And depending where you are on the planet or the moon, this wind can actually, over time, wear it down to a valley. So erosion is a big deal. Now, what happens if you're in a place where you don't have liquid water, where you don't have any wind? So like our moon, for example. What can we expect the valleys in our moon coming from? So it turns out that if you have a large impact from a giant asteroid or a comet or whatever it is, it can create a valley just from the actual impact. So impacts are another form of creating valleys. And this is some of the land features that could have happened before the valley. You could have had a river, you can have glaciation, or you could just have had an impact from an asteroid. My name is Eylene Pirez, and I'm an astrophysicist, and these are some of the sources of valleys.